right, so we're going to be doing something a little bit different today. We have 3 different rifles. We are 3 lost circus performers. Now, we have 3 different rifles here that each of us don't have a whole lot of time shooting. These aren't in the normal rotation for the guns that each of us are training with. But we are also wearing a new product, the quad flap chest rig, which allows us to utilize magazines for all of these different weapons. And what we're going to be doing is cycling through these different guns, shooting a couple different drills, and comparing some times and some accuracy as well, and just seeing how we do shooting guns that we don't normally train with, and kind of see how our fundamentals from ARs and other weapons translates over. So I guess I'll go first. On the last time I've shot some of these MP5, it's been, I think, 6 to 8 months since I've done any serious training. I shot the full auto MP5 SD. I did a mag filming a video with Daily Wire as a demo. Does not count. There's literally no training value with that. So training wise, I haven't shot this in about 8 months or so. It's been quite a while. AK, about the same thing. I shot this AK, I think it's 4 or 5 months ago for a couple of videos that we put on Instagram, shooting with irons. So it's been a little while since I've shot a Kalashnikov. And FAL, I think it's been about 2 years. So I have not shot these guns outside of zeroing this morning for any sort of serious training in a while.
For me, I've never seriously trained with the MP5, so the manipulations and stuff are going to be foreign. I dry fired a little bit with it yesterday in the armory.
Yeah.
But I've shot them before, but never done run drills or anything, so that will be foreign. AK was one of the first rifles I had when I sucked at shooting. So it has been a really long time since I've done anything with an AK. And I don't know if I've ever shot an FAL. So today's gonna be rough.
Excellent.
It's been quite a while. I own an AK and MP5, and I generally try to put 1 month of training a year into each platform, or between the 2 platforms, but I haven't done that in 2 years. And an FAL, I've only shot for fun, never trained with it.
So with all that said, let's go find out how much we're gonna suck with each of these guns. Let's see what happens. Four on him or 7?
1, 2, 3, 4,
No, I have 6.
5, 6. No, you're good.
Oh! All alphas. 1 Charlie, 1 Delta. One Charlie.
A Delta.
1 Delta.
4 Charlie and 2 Alpha.
4 Charlie.
I actually thought I'd have one further right on that for one of the sights.
Oh, really?
I got it. Okay.
2 Charlies. 1 Charlie.
How many?
Just 1.
1 Delta, 2 Charlie, 3 Alpha.
We have to go in circle.
Start position will be off of the barricade. Go to any port, any area you desire. You have to have the gun in the area of this. So you're not going to here. Off the side, either side here, either side here, either area there. Reload in between.
I thought you were looking at the target.
So first target's MP5, 100 meters. We have a 50 meter zero on that gun, which for sub gun is typically pretty good. So I held head box, which as you can see, actually I didn't have to hold that high. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got 2 mics. So it's fun. My FAL work. Got 1 off or a double. 1 mic. So FAL, 1M. This will be the worst target for everyone unless someone just absolutely crushes it because the irons are as big as the target. However, it looks like I have all 10 on targets. That's cool. So I've got 10. So that's good considering I'm shooting irons at 100.
One, two, three. How many should I have total? It was 5 positions, so 20. Is it 20 total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10. Wait, is that right? 2, 4. No, it should be 10, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna count that as a mic because that's not breaking the perf. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 alpha. That, I'll call it a delta. 1 Charlie and 2 Delta. Here is the FAL. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No mics, that's good. We have 1 Charlie and 4 Delta. The AK. It's actually like, I'm kind of okay with this. It's not great, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, and so that would be 2 mics, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Charlie and 2 Delta.
All right, so FAL guy, we'll just start with the deltas. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 deltas. AK, I knew we were supposed to hold a little right. I didn't hold right enough clearly, but I'm actually not too upset with this. This is very consistent for iron sights at 100. I just wasn't holding in the best spot. So I was holding front sight post a little above the rear sight, and I was holding right here. So if I was holding here, a lot of these hits would have been right there. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 deltas, 1, 2, 3 Charlies, and 3 alphas. So no mic to the AK. Actually, the MP5 probably held too high. Yeah, just a little too high. So obviously with like shooting with score, just want to be in the A, but probability of hits this far, I would like to be a little lower.
Man, that was rough. This gun's heavy. That sucked. I suck. This is dumb.
All right, so we just completed a rather fascinating drill, pulling a gun out of a duffel bag, throwing all manner of different magazines into our chest rig, and then running into this shoot house, into this kill house, and just absolutely crushing everything. How realistic do you think this is, that this drill that we just did?
You go first.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll go first. So extremely unrealistic. It's very realistic for training, however. If there was 11 or 12, 13, however many armed combatants in a house, I don't think anybody in the rifle mind would ever go into the house. So when you see us reloading in the open, it's okay. I promise, we're fine. This is just training, we're just shooting and moving.
How many, when you would do CQB train ups and stuff, how many targets would you have in shoot houses? And how many guys would you have going in?
Yeah, so I've done a handful of CQB packages, and there would be targets in every single room, and they would just be, again, they're set up for training, so it'd be different scenarios essentially in every room, trying to get as much out of every rep as possible, and it would be a whole team. So sometimes it would be like 8 dudes entering at one side of a building at a time. Sometimes you have 2 teams entering, whatever. So there's just a lot going on, and we also have flashbangs and grenades and a lot of other stuff that we don't have right here. So, yeah.
Yeah, this is what I always say about stuff like this, scenarios like this, is a while ago I gave up trying to come to the range and act like I'm reacting, and I just go to the range and I build skills that will aid in reacting. So going through here, seeing what's subconscious, what takes, you know, conscious thought, especially with guns we're not
accustomed to.
Yeah, we're not familiar with. You can see that it's drawing a lot more of our conscious kind of thought to you know, fix what's happening with the gun. So people kind of make a mistake when you go through here and think like we're trying to mimic something. And look, the targets are paper. They're not making decisions. They're not moving. There's a ton of stimulus, quote unquote, that's missing. It's kind of like sitting down and trying to play chess against somebody. You're making all the decisions. It doesn't really work.
As far as the guns worked, AK, easiest gun to shoot. Mags are a good size. They fit in the chest rig well. Very easy to manipulate. The iron sights aren't too bad. We've got a fiber front sight post installed here, which is if you're gonna run AK irons, it's the way to go for sure. At the 100 meter, we had decent hits with the AK, even though it covered up the entire target, and just running through and shooting was fine. And this is 7.62 by 39, which I know some people says recoils a whole lot. For some reason, it doesn't. It's a little bit more than an AR, but it's as I'm shooting this, I didn't feel it. I was shooting at the same speed as I would an AR. The FAL is cool. Shooting that, obviously loading it's a little funky and different. The FAL actually recoils. It's one of the softer shooting 308 guns that I have shot, and we have a lot of different 308 guns in the armory. And this one's kind of modernized. We've got some weird rail that's not even straight to the gun, so mounting a laser to that will not be amazing. We've got a Picatinny top cover, so we can mount optics such as this SIG Romeo 8, is that what it's called? 8T. Yeah. I know you like them. Whatever. Folding stock, mag pole with a riser so that we can have a little bit better of a cheek weld for recoil management. And I thought the gun shot pretty good. And then the MP5, shot MP5s a lot, so there's nothing revelation. There's no revelation there, except I have not shot with that optic before. That is the Trigicon 1.5x little mini ACOG. And for me, being left eye dominant, it is very hard to shoot with both eyes open with a optic that is not on a true 1x. But I made it work, got hits, and I wouldn't say it slowed me down in here too much, but it wasn't the perfect optic for me based on my eyes.
I think any of us could have gotten used, like if it's just, again, spending time with the gun and setup makes a big difference. But so the AK, I tend to agree. I really liked, I thought that was probably the one that I could pick up and shoot the best once like the sights are not as horrible. The front fiber optic, I really like that. I think that's awesome. And obviously then if you added a red dot to it, I think it's still a really good, especially this one shot really, really nice. Reloads weren't horrible. I actually was kind of impressed. I thought I would have a little bit harder time with that on the AK. As far as the FAL goes, the one thing that surprised me is the trigger. It was just a little bit heavier than I kind of was anticipating. And I don't shoot a whole lot of 308 like battle rifles in general, so it took a little bit of adjusting for me, but I still think overall it shot really good. Reloads were weird. Bolt catch is only on like one side. I didn't realize that on one of the runs. I was like, oh, where is it? And then the MP5, this was my first time actually running an MP5, getting to shoot with it, reloads and doing all that. And I had a couple good ones in there and I had a couple not so good ones in there, but I think that thing was fun to shoot. I think what was challenging is trying to split it fast. I actually kind of enjoyed shooting it at like medium distance. Yeah, just more time with it. Like just spending more time with the guns will just make you better.
Yep.
Yeah, these guns they're all very common platforms. It's not a bad idea to get familiar with these things. For that AK, that is a very soft shooting AK. That's like, if I had to compare it to an AR, probably like a Mark 18 without a muzzle brake. It's probably similar
like
to
an
the
A2 or a 3-prong. Yeah.
Yeah. Reloads on AKs are fairly simple. Nothing crazy. The FAL, again, it's a very soft shooting 308. It's, I would say, second to the SCAR.
SCAR's just slower, but it's about the same.
This is technically a Gen 1 SCAR. This is where the SCAR came from. But at the end of the day, 308 sucks to shoot. You could see it, especially when we start to get fatigued around in here. We're still getting pushed around by it. But overall, that's an awesome gun. It's very cool. Right, that's the right hand of the free world, so very fun to shoot. MP5 has 0 recoil, and this is a full-size boy, so I've shot MP5s probably next to ARs more than anything else. I still got beat, so that doesn't really show much. But yeah, MP5s are a lot of fun and super soft to shoot.
We all got beat.
I know, I did. As far as the last drill we just shot, the original intent was to score every run. It is sort of a USPSA stage with the conditions of throwing mags in, which again is not super equitable as far as competition goes, because a lot can go wrong and you can't really get past some of that in some ways. After the first run that I had, it was just like, hey, we don't have time to score all this. We don't have time to go through and film all the hits on this. We just need to get through here because we were at the end of the day. It also didn't help that it was like 95 degrees out. My heart rate went to 170, which I know the comments you guys are going to say it's really unhealthy and bad. Yeah, I'm sure it is. We were shooting in it anyway. And one thing about the 308 in particular is to consider. When you're running through and shooting, running and gunning with a gun that's that punchy, it will punch the oxygen out of you. You don't really have, I haven't noticed that effect with carbine cartridges or PCC like 9mm type guns, but shooting the FAL through here was physically more challenging just because it's knocking the air out of you at every position, and then you have time to kind of take a breath as you're loading, move into the next one, and those first 2 rounds out and you're just completely out of air.
It's definitely more physical. I think the other thing that a lot of people need to realize about these type of things, it's kind of, as I come out here and I do this more and I strap on random kit and do all this, is, you know, there's kind of 2 things you can work on. You know, I shoot a lot of USPSA, which is very, almost like going to the track and racing Ferraris, I guess you could say. It's very controlled. It's very, you know, hey, this is what you're doing. And that's a lot of fun. That can really get you to where you're pushing yourself, you're familiar with your gun. But then coming out here and just doing like torturous, hey, we're gonna walk into this, like, yeah, and only have 10 rounds and you're gonna just be reloading the whole time. To me, that's like it's kind of a torture test for some of your manipulations, and it's even more torturing when you don't really have that muscle memory or subconscious action on the gun. So I enjoy it. I would encourage you, like, get out of your comfort zone, try it. So if you're someone who shoots USPSA, go do something like this. If you're somebody who runs around in kit and shoots like that kind of thing, you know.
But if you only do this kind of training, you'll never get good at shooting. Yeah. It's not happening.
Yeah, that's kind of,
it will not happen.
That's a good way of saying it.
You've got to shoot, like the first drill we shot, it was a very simple far, medium, close throttle control drill, and that's the kind of drill that will make people good at shooting. That's how I got good at shooting. That's how these guys have gotten good at shooting. We're not running this like every time we come out. We've obviously done videos on this recently, but this is a fun drill to do to shake out some kit and find out what's going on and figure out what's happening with the guns. But we also wanted to find out what the guns could do at 100 meters, because we've got irons on this gun, we've got an interesting optic on the MP5, and we haven't shot FAL much. So like, we still want some data collection there, and then here we were just kind of getting data collection on some of the chest rig and running the guns in a different kind of situation. Which brings me to the chest rig. So this is the new chest rig. Well, I've just dated the video, but this is a chest rig that we're offering here at T.REX Arms. It has a lot of similarities to other rigs on the market because every chest rig ultimately on the market is copying an Eagle from the early 2000s and or a Chicom rig going all the way back to the 70s. When you purchase one of these, if you decide it's something that you're looking for, and if not, hey, that's cool. Something else probably works better for you. This is what it looks like out of the box. You've got 4 flapped mag pouches, which will fit 2 PMags, 4 MP5 mags in each one. A 308 mag, such as the FAL, AK mag, such as this 762x39 AK, and then I have two sets of 2 panels of 3 rows of MOLLE on the side, which on mine I've got, you know, what's going on over here with a single pouch, a double, and then over here, same thing. And then on the inside, something that makes our rig quite a bit different than other folks is we have built-in radio pockets. So this entire course of fire, I have a Motorola in this pouch. I've had mags up against me. I've got a Kestrel. I've got some other crap in here. I haven't felt my radio this whole time. And I have a medium-sized radio, Motorola, can't remember the model number. It's not a 152. It's not a Baofeng. It's kind of in that medium size, and I haven't felt it at all today. And I have a tourniquet in this other pouch, and I am good to go. So that is one thing that really sets this chest rig apart. Brandon had a big part in working on this specific piece of the chest rig because he has a lot of experience doing communications stuff in the military. So if this is the kind of chest rig you're looking for that can handle pretty much any kind of magazine outside of long action, bolt action rifles, definitely check it out. But this chest rig allowed us to shoot 3 completely different types of guns, and we didn't have to swap any kit. And that's kind of the point of this video is battlefield pickup guns. We're just shoving mags in here. It's kind of the point of the last drill we shot. And we can run off, shoot, and do things, and that's kind of what we did. So I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on the chest rig in particular.
I'll be quick because I haven't been as involved as far as I'm just kind of seeing a finished product and running it. Mm-hmm. And through all those drills, everything that we were doing, this is really pretty much my first time like really running this chest rig.
Yeah.
And the chest rig never got in the way. Like there was never a time where I was like, oh, that's the chest rig's fault. I didn't feel my radio all day. I was playing with it in the armory the other day, and there's so many different like modular cool things you can do with it. And I think that's like with a chest rig, it's probably gonna be one of the first pieces of like nylon you end up buying, maybe after a belt. And it should just kind of grow with you because a lot of times when you're starting shooting, you might change platforms. I started with an AK and look where I am now. But like that's kind of the point is it's very modular and it can grow with you and it works well. I think there's a lot of intentionality in the design. So
yeah, I got a few things. I'm gonna grab this guy. So again, a lot of the design input is coming from, on my end at least, is really acknowledging for communications. And with military-sized radios, you would think a bigger radio would be more uncomfortable than a smaller radio. That's often not the case. So a lot of times with the smaller radios, they're a little more bulky, and it's more of like a hot spot on your body with that small piece of
a pebble in your shoe.
Exactly, right? Mm-hmm. So if you had a bigger, yeah, you get it. Something that, like in my previous job, doing a lot of RNS type stuff and wearing multiple radios, creating a solution that was very comfortable is important. Especially with this chest rig, and I think we nailed it with this. You guys don't wear radios that often. I don't think anyone's noticed that they even have a radio on them. The second aspect of that, besides the comfortability, is the harness. You'll see there's a lot of random webbing and elastic going on here. These were all put in place with a purpose to, for example, like this cop mic, it is secured with no sort of tie down. And that's the same thing. If Lucas had that attached properly, it would be the same way.
How dare you? Yeah,
but standard push to talks and stuff like that, you should be able to secure most of them securely without any sort of tie down. And if you notice, there's no one wrap or elastic for cable feeding on the outside because that is silly. That is a snag hazard. If you should do that, it should be on the inside. But yeah, we designed this really with a purpose, and this, I would say, with all the stuff that I've done in the multiple chest rigs I've worn, this is definitely the most comfortable chest rig.
I used it to secure like the little Velcro strap the other day. I used this to secure, I had a little earpiece, and I used it to like wrap that cord to keep all the like excess from unspooling with like one of those little earpieces. So again, the modularity, I think it's really like good.
Yeah, there's a lot of new minds, I will just say, with our nylon developing coming up, and this is kind of the first taste of it. So it's designed with a purpose, to say that.
Hopefully we can keep it in stock. I hope this is in stock by the time you're watching this video and it hasn't all sold out. It is possible, although we did order 3,000 in our initial order. So that is military contract size with the factories that we're working with, and that takes a while to get. So So yeah, that is what we've been doing for today. And it is extremely hot outside. And I think it's time for McFlurries or Sonic drinks. But I have a meeting to go to first.
Or water.
Or water, and electrolytes and exercise and food, and breakfast. Some of us should eat breakfast.
Solid foods, yeah. Not chocolate milk.
Last I checked, neither of you are certified nutritionalists. Anyway, so with all that said, take care, guys, and make sure whatever you buy, whether it's a chest rig from us or from another company, doesn't matter where you go and get it from, make sure you're out training somewhere, getting better at shooting, because ultimately that's what matters if you are really interested in firearms. That's your time.
Not very fast.
10 seconds faster.
What was it?
45.68.
Yeah,
Did
but I'll be honest, it was like one of those things where I was looking at the iron sights
beat
and I was
me.
like,
You
it's
beat
not
me
going to get
by-
better if I hang out here.
Yeah, you beat me by 1 second.
I'll take it.